Story 1. Our road trip was off to a typical start. The four of us, Emily, Sarah, Tom, and I, were packed into my car, windows down, music blasting, and laughter filling the air. The highway stretched out before us, promising adventure and excitement, the kind we had always sought out. But as we drove, a palpable shift occurred. Emily, usually the most cheerful of our group, fell silent, her face clouded with an ominous pall. It was as if someone had flipped a switch, transforming her from our vibrant friend to a vessel of deep-seated fear. We exchanged worried glances as she began to pray, her voice trembling with emotion, tears streaming down her cheeks. Her words, though indecipherable amidst the wind noise, carried an undeniable urgency, a plea for something we couldn't comprehend. Panic spread through us like wildfire. We had no idea why Emily was so distraught, and her intense prayer only fueled our anxiety. The atmosphere inside the car grew thick with tension, and I could feel our hearts pounding in unison, echoing the frantic rhythm of the song that still played in the background. As we approached a narrow bridge, its dilapidated structure looming over us like a malevolent guardian, Mike, our driver, suddenly slammed on the brakes. His eyes widened in terror, and he swerved the car violently, causing it to crash into the barrier. A deafening screech of metal against metal filled the air, and our hearts raced even faster. As we came to a shuddering stop, we realized that one of the tires had been punctured in the collision. Fear and confusion washed over us. We were stranded on that eerie bridge, the dense forest below us, an impenetrable mass of darkness, and an unexplained presence hanging in the air. The road trip that had started with joy and laughter had now taken a chilling turn, and we were left with more questions than answers. Emily's prayer continued, her voice growing louder, more desperate, as if she was battling an unseen force. The rest of us sat in stunned silence, our eyes darting between her and the encroaching darkness, feeling a primal fear that we had never experienced before. Suddenly, Emily's prayer stopped. Her eyes, wide with terror, darted towards the rear of the car. We followed her gaze, our hearts pounding in our chests. There, in the back seat, a shadowy figure was materializing, its form shifting and contorting like smoke. A collective gasp escaped our lips as the figure took shape, its eyes glowing with an eerie red light. It reached out towards us, its skeletal fingers clawing at the air. We screamed in terror, scrambling to escape the car, but the doors were jammed and the windows were too small for us to fit through. We were trapped, our fate sealed at the hands of this malevolent entity. As the figure drew closer, its icy breath brushing against our skin, we braced ourselves for the inevitable. But just as it was about to reach out and claim us, the shadowy figure recoiled, as if struck by an unseen force. Emily, her face streaked with tears, stood between us and the entity, her hands raised in a protective gesture. Her lips moved in silent prayer, her eyes filled with a fierce determination. The entity writhed in agony, its form dissolving into tendrils of smoke that dissipated into the air. The bridge was once again silent, the only sound the rapid beating of our hearts. Emily collapsed into our arms, her body trembling with exhaustion. We held her close, our fear replaced by a sense of relief and gratitude. We had survived, but we knew that we would never be the same. The road trip that had started with excitement and adventure had turned into a chilling encounter with the unknown. We had faced our deepest fears and emerged shaken but unbroken. And as we drove away from the bridge, leaving the darkness behind us, we knew that we would never forget the night we faced the entity and emerged victorious. Story 2. Our road trip was filled with the usual chatter and laughter, the kind of camaraderie that only comes with close friends embarking on an adventure. The winding road snaked its way through the heart of the countryside, leading us towards a hidden gem, a tranquil stream rumored to be of breathtaking beauty. Alex, the ever-enthusiastic photographer of our group, couldn't resist the allure of capturing the stream's pristine beauty. Eager to immortalize the moment, he volunteered to descend the steep embankment and get closer to the water's edge. As Alex knelt by the stream, camera poised, his cheerful demeanor abruptly shattered. His scream, a chilling mix of terror and desperation, pierced the peaceful silence, sending a jolt of fear through our hearts. We rushed to his side, our minds racing with the worst possible scenarios. To our horror, we witnessed an unimaginable sight. Alex was being dragged into the shallow stream, his body submerged by an unseen force. His fingers clawed desperately at the soft earth, his face contorted in a mask of sheer terror. Adrenaline surged through our veins as we watched our friend fight for his life. Without hesitation, we grabbed a long, sturdy branch from the nearby bushes and lunged towards Alex, our makeshift rescue tool finding its mark on his arm. With every ounce of strength we could muster, we pulled him free from the stream's relentless grip. Alex emerged, his face pale and drawn, his eyes reflecting the trauma he had just endured. Relief washed over us, but it was fleeting. As we turned to flee the scene, the ominous forest surrounding the stream seemed to come alive. Strange, otherworldly sounds emanated from the depths of the trees, and elusive, phantom-like forms flickered in our peripheral vision. Fear gripped our hearts as we realized we were no longer just spectators in a chilling nightmare. We were targets, prey for whatever lurked within those dark, forbidding woods. With adrenaline pumping through our veins, we sprinted away from the stream, leaving behind the tranquil beauty that had so quickly turned into a horrifying ordeal. The memory of that day remains etched in our minds, a chilling reminder of the hidden dangers that lurk beneath the surface of the mundane. The stream, once a symbol of serenity, now stands as a haunting testament to the unseen forces that exist just beyond our perception. Story 3. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the picturesque countryside, my girlfriend and I embarked on a scenic drive, eager to savor the tranquil beauty that unfolded before us. The rhythmic hum of the car's engine provided a soothing backdrop to our journey, the gentle breeze caressing our faces as we wound through the winding roads. However, as we ventured deeper into the heart of the countryside, an unsettling silence descended upon us. The usual symphony of nature, the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves, was replaced by an oppressive stillness that sent shivers down our spines. The air grew heavy, laden with an inexplicable tension that gnawed at our insides. Suddenly, without warning, a dense fog rolled in, like an unwelcome guest, obscuring our vision and swallowing the world in an impenetrable shroud of white. The cheerful twilight sky was replaced by an oppressive gray, the sun's waning light struggling to penetrate the thick, swirling mist. With a jolt, the car's engine sputtered and died, leaving us stranded in the heart of the eerie fog. Panic began to gnaw at my insides, a primal fear that something was lurking within the fog, waiting for us. My girlfriend's hand gripped mine tightly, her eyes mirroring the terror that gripped my heart. We tried to move, to escape this suffocating fog and the eerie silence that surrounded us, but unseen hands grabbed at us, pulling us from our seats and into the darkness. We screamed in terror, our voices lost in the thick, oppressive fog. We fought against the relentless force, our muscles burning with exertion as we tried to free ourselves from the grasp of the unseen entities. Just when I thought all hope was lost, I fumbled for the car keys and managed to restart the engine. The car lurched to life, and I slammed my foot on the accelerator, the tires tearing through the gravel as we sped away from the fog, leaving behind the haunting silence and grasping hands. As the fog finally lifted and the sun's rays pierced through the darkness, we felt a wave of relief wash over us. We had escaped whatever lurked within that eerie mist, and we were determined to leave it all behind. To this day, we don't know what we encountered on that lonely road. Was it the work of some otherworldly force, a malevolent entity that preyed on our fears? Or was it simply a product of our own minds, a manifestation of our deepest anxieties? Whatever the truth may be, the memory of that terrifying night will forever be etched in our minds, a chilling reminder of the unseen dangers that lurk just beyond our perception. We may never know what we encountered, but we are grateful to have escaped its grasp.